You're listening to the John and Heidi Show, now featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Farris. Good day, sir.
Hey,
How
man.
are you?
No, fine. Is it Friday? We got another Friday going here?
Holy cow, it is. How did that happen?
That is fantastic.
Time flies when you're having fun.
What a fantastic day to blow out some birthday cake candles with Kenny G, who is 64 today.
Do you think he blows them out with a saxophone?
Is that a saxophone? I've never been
is.
quite clear on what
I think it's a saxophone.
that is. Yep, Kenneth Bruce Gorlick, Kenny G.
Oh, his last name is Gorlick?
It sure is, John.
Of the Cincinnati Gorlicks?
I've got to tell you what, he's one of the finest lyricists I've ever come across.
Who writes the words to these songs?
Holy moly! And I just like this guy. Mark Wahlberg is 49 today.
I do too.
Nice.
This is pretty neat.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies, a lot of stuff, but my favorite all-time Mark Wahlberg movie is a little thing called The Fighter.
Oh, yeah.
He stars along with Christian Bale and Amy, good old Amy, what's her name?
Yeah.
Based on a true story, fantastic movie, dial it up. The Fighter.
The Fighter.
Thank me later.
In theaters, nowhere. Cause it
Nowhere.
Was from a
Well,
long
it
time
was
ago.
at one point. It was 1876. Bananas are introduced and become a huge hit in the U.S., Introduced at the Centennial Exhibition in Philadelphia in 1876. Yeah,
Nice.
That's kind of cool. Now, do keep in mind, a lot of people do not know this. Bananas, you have to eat the entire banana because they're packed with niacin, potassium, whatever. But all of those great things are concentrated at one end or the other, and no one's sure which end that stuff is at.
It's on the good end.
We're learning here. 1944, enormous day. The greatest country on God's green earth. General Eisenhower, after receiving favorable weather reports, decides to proceed with the D-Day invasion the following day, which would be June 6th. 73,000 American troops, along with 83,000 British and Canadian troops, the biggest invasion ever in world history. Along with those troops, we hauled along 7 million tons of supplies and 500,000 tons of ammunition.
That is amazing.
Yeah, my Uncle Pete actually was on board that invasion. World War II, yep.
Very, very cool. Well, Dan, thank you very much for that update, sir.
Yeah, let's get rolling here. We got a lot of stuff to cover. I've been a busy guy, and I fully almost sort of guarantee no money back. However, this will be the greatest Dan Farris bonus hour ever in the history of bonus hours.
That is, and we've had some good ones too.
I know, I'm feeling a little cocky.
And I better step up my game. We've got the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.
If you have a credit card, we'd like to help you make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and see what you get for points or perks. Then go to bettercreditcards.com to see if we can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you get a better credit card. If you don't have a credit card right now, you can check us out too at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for Ranger Dan's Critter Corner.
Well, I'm rough, tough, and ready. I'm a heck of a man. Eat my beans and weenies from a frying pan.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves to wrestle bears and lasso ducks. Run over possums in my government truck.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves all the campers and the animals too. If you're picking on critters, I'm coming after you.
He's Ranger Dan.
Yes, sir. I'm Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Oh, second here.
He's wetting his whistle over there.
Oh,
Pretty dry.
whatever ails you. Yeah, how's the Smalls doing? Huh?
Good.
That's good. You're looking good there, Jimmy. Heidi.
Ranger Dan.
That was kind of a, you know what? Heidi, it seems to me you got to be the breakfast special this morning because you're getting me pretty darn egg-sided. Oh, God. All kidding aside, speaking of eggs, let's talk about beavers this morning.
All right. Nothing to do with eggs, but it works.
This is pretty fascinating. I want you to gather on close. Turn up that radio, little radio rangers. We're here to learn. That's why it's Critter Corner, and this is absolutely fascinating. Out of the world of beavers, did you know beavers, the male beaver, secretes what is referred to as just a goo. It's a little goo. It's a little liquid-type substance that is used in vanilla flavorings.
Really?
Really?
Technical name is castoreum. It's a chemical compound, comes from male beavers' castor sacs, which are located under the tail.
Wow.
It's secreted as a brown slime, about the consistency of molasses. Smells like vanilla. It happens to be FDA approved. It's a natural flavoring.
So you're telling me it comes from a beaver's butt?
Technically,
Oh, just under their tail.
they're sacs. Now, here's a little side note on that, and this is where we take a real hard left on this information. Up through the 1100s, which was at least 100 years ago,
At least.
people actually thought that male beavers actually knew that hunters were after them for those nads, those secretions, those sacs.
Okay. So what would they do?
These people back then thought that guy beavers would actually attempt to avoid being hunted by chewing off their own testicles.
Oh,
my
my.
goodness. This is getting pretty interesting.
I said we were taking a hard left. I wasn't just making that up. Now then, in case you don't know their little radio rangers, testicles, that's a term that beaver scientists actually refer to as nads.
Wow.
Of course, they believed that in the 1100s, and that simply was not true. People back then, they just weren't real smart, and that is probably why most of them are now dead. That's it for today, little radio rangers. I sure hope you learned something. This is Ranger Dan telling you, as always, what doesn't kill you generally makes you stronger, except for bears and murder hornets. Those will kill you every darn time. This is Ranger Dan. Out. Say it with me.
Yes, sir.
Each month you have these things called bills. They have to be paid. It's part of being an adult, not the fun part, but it's important. So if you can find a way to cut some of these expenses, it makes that bill day a little better. At InsuranceChicken.com, we'd like to help. Our site allows you to see what several different companies have to offer, all in one place. Check out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
And it's time right now for Water Cooler Talk with Mr. Dan Farris. What are we going to talk about today, sir?
Just a little bit about the proceeds here Sunday night in Sioux Falls with protests, and then there was pandemonium and shenanigans and break-ins. For instance, Wireless World, Vince Lubin. Actually, I've known Vince, oh my goodness. For
Super good dude.
Very, very, very long time.
Oh, yeah.
And some area youth have been rounded up.
Mm-hmm.
The Utes have been?
The Utes have, and this is a story from Kello from Bridget Bennett. And Sioux Falls business owners now are getting busy repairing damage, everything from graffiti to windows to you name it, and just pandemonium. According to local attorney Scott Abdallah, who I know as well, used to hang out with your dad, Scott. Good on you. It goes like this. If juvenile is actually arrested and caught and whatnot, and we're talking, under the age of 18, the parents are on the bag for damage, up to $2,500.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's just how it's going to work. Now, that charge, that fine, can also follow that youth for up to 20 years.
Right.
Wowzers.
So those are just things to keep in mind. And it was apparent to me, and I was listening, I was at a business yesterday, and a couple was talking to the store owner, still talking about what happened Sunday night. And the mayor said it too. When he came out, he said, you know what? This was a lot of our local youth here. Yeah. You had some various teachers around going, hey, that kid's in my class.
And he said it's embarrassing.
It was a lot of young people in this town. I mean, I don't know if I shared this with you guys or not, but that protest went through my neighborhood.
Yeah, you're saying that. It marched right by.
Okay, and I'm just going to do a little background here. I'm old enough where, I'm out of Minneapolis, and I watched protests. Martin Luther King got shot. I was there for that. Vietnam, certainly in the late 90s, down on the West Bank area, Seven Corners around the University of Minnesota, watching those protests.
I think you meant the late 60s.
Yeah, late 60s. And just kind of seeing all that stuff unfold and the people involved with that. So while I'm watching these protesters go through my neighborhood, I sat out front just going, this looks a little different. And then I just started laughing because what I was seeing was basically a scene from High School Musical.
Wow.
Without the talent or the fashion sense.
Okie dokie then.
So yeah, that's all.
Does this parade have candy? No.
I was literally going, this is not what I expected. But, okay.
Well, I believe in people having the right to have free speech and do their thing, but when it turns to breaking somebody else's stuff, now they also have rights. So when your rights infringe my rights, that's where we have a problem.
That's
so.
right.
Do things peacefully, protest. You got the right to do that. We live in the greatest country on God's green earth.
I think one of the best takes I've ever seen on this. Now, my son Luke was Special Forces Airborne, and this was during a time when, what was the big deal then? Occupy Wall Street.
Oh, I remember that.
Okay, well, he was stationed Fort Carson, Colorado. He ended up in Denver on some business going into the government building, and the Occupy Wall Street thing had hit that area, the protesters and whatnot. And I asked him, I said, wow, doesn't that just make make you mad? I mean, he puts stuff on and he goes, oh, no, this is why we do what we do, so people can keep doing stupid stuff. But he had a good point.
As long as they're not harming anybody
So people
else,
are free to
breaking
do
things,
these
yeah.
things. But yeah, I just thought that was an excellent take on his service. So
Absolutely. Well, coming your way in just a moment, we're going to have the bright spot of news. That comes your way courtesy of Paul's Designer Showroom, and it's on the way next. 2020 has become quite an interesting year.
Many people have been cooped up for way too long.
We're excited to join hundreds of friends for a fun time in Cancun this October.
Hear awesome music from Belinda Carlisle, Cheap Trick, Billy Idol, and many more.
The seance is at the end of October, and we are ready for a vacation. I hope you will join us.
We've been to this event for many years, and it is so much fun.
Get more information and reserve your spot at radiotravelgroup.com.
That's radiotravelgroup.com.
And it's time right now for our bright spot of news brought to you by Paul's Designer Showroom in Sioux Falls. And our guest today, we're going to be chatting right now with Jennifer about a really cool program that we have happening all summer long. Jennifer, how are you doing today?
Hi, good morning. I'm great. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. Now, EMBE is an organization in Sioux Falls that many people are probably familiar with, but let's talk first about what EMBE is so people who don't know what that is know what EMBE is.
You bet. So I'm Jennifer Hazing. I'm the Chief Development Officer at EMBE, and EMBE's mission is to empower women and families to enrich lives. Since 1921 here in Sioux Falls, we've been a part of empowering people and giving them the skills they need to be successful throughout their lives. So that's a lot of programs. We serve women, we serve children and families. We've even got aquatics. So every year we impact directly about 13,000 people. Volunteers give us 24,000 hours of their time over the course of the year to bring programs to life. So there's a pretty broad diversity of ways we serve the community, but the bottom line is that we're here so that women and families can be their most successful.
That is awesome. Thank you for doing all that you do. Now let's talk about something specifically that you're doing. EMBE is sponsoring a summer food service program. Tell me a little more about this.
You bet. So EMBE has done this program for a number of years now. We're proud to be a sponsor with the USDA Summer Feeding Program, and what that means is kids who have a need for food here in the summer can come to EMBE downtown or to Our Savior's Lutheran Church, and they can get a meal there Monday through Friday, every day from 11:30 to 12:30. The only exception is on Friday, July the 3rd. But we're there with the summer feeding program each day this summer through August 31st.
That is fantastic. So I see, I'm looking at the info here. It says Our Savior's Lutheran Church, 909 West 33rd Street is where that one is, and that'll be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and then it's got EMBE downtown, 300 West 11th Street, and that's from 8 to 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So, and I'll throw all of this information on our Facebook page, too, to make it easy for folks to find. If people are interested in being involved in this and helping, are you looking for volunteers? Are you looking for people to financially contribute? How can people help you with this mission?
Thank you. Our basic mode today is we just want to get the word out, and especially now in this pandemic environment, we're not able to take volunteers to assist with the program. It's funded by the United States Department of Agriculture, so this is federal dollars at work. Our mission today is we just want people to know. We know that 13.7% of people in South Dakota live below the poverty line and at or below the poverty line. And our colleagues over at Feeding South Dakota has some great statistics. 1 of 9 in South Dakota, 1 of 9 people is food insecure, and that means that 1 of 6 kids is at risk of going hungry. So we just want to be sure that people know that they can come and access this food. It's free. There's no charge. So if you find yourself with a need for food this summer, it's available for you. And a little bit different, the meal services here is a grab-and-go service, similar to what the school district here in Sioux Falls has done with some of the meals that they're providing. You just come to the door, pretty simple, give us a call and let us know the number of meals that you need, and we'll pack and deliver it to the door, and then you can take it home to eat it. It's completely free, no names, no information, nothing that we record. MB is just proud to be a part of being sure that kids are fed this summer.
Well, thank you for doing what you're doing, Jennifer. I think it's really, really cool.
Well, thanks. We're glad to do it, and we know that to be their best selves, obviously kids gotta be fed and have to be well. So if we can be one part of that solution, we're happy to do it. And I appreciate you having that information handy about Our Savior's Lutheran Church.
Absolutely. And we're going to throw all of the information on our Facebook page to make it really easy to find. If you would like to find out more, maybe you know somebody that could utilize this program, all of the information, again, embe.org is their website, embe.org. And again, I've got a link to all of the information on our Facebook page, facebook.com/sunnyradio and facebook.com/Sioux Falls News. This is today's Bright Spot of News, brought to you by Paul's Designer Showroom on Lake Lorraine in Sioux Falls.
Small businesses are the heart of our community. As things get back to normal, I hope you'll go out of your way to do business with locally owned businesses in your area. We've been so pleased with the response of our gift card challenge that we're gonna keep this going. If you can, buy an extra gift card. You can use it yourself or give it to someone who needs a little help right now. When you buy a gift card, remember to post a photo on social media with hashtag giftcardchallenge. Learn more at giftcardchallenge.org.
Time now for a little bit of entertainment news of the day with Mr. Dan Farris.
Hey, man, celebrities, come on. They're fabulous. I'm going to just cut to the chase here. Okay. I got to dig in and find celebrity news, but every single celebrity, Dina, every story, every one of them has to do with what's going on with the protests. And although that's really interesting, there's just, you know what?
Not going there?
No. And so let's do this. As you know, I'm a big fan of the Hallmark Channel.
Oh, you are. You talk about it a lot. And I'm not just talking about on the air. I mean, afterwards, and he's telling me about all these movies he watches.
And it's June again, and that means it's Christmas movie time on the Hallmark Channel.
Christmas in July.
So starting tonight and through the weekend, you can tune in and watch some of my favorites, including the 12 Gifts of Christmas.
Oh, nice.
A Brush with Love, which I've now watched twice.
Have you seen it? Ended the same both times?
A Cheerful Christmas. A Brush with Love gets pretty intense, John.
Does it?
Pretty intense. You're going to need an extra bag of microwave popcorn for that bad boy. A Christmas Detour, which I've seen twice. A Christmas Duet. A Christmas Love Story. Okay, and I've seen this one twice. You can't make this up. A Country Wedding.
Is Dina Carter in that?
No idea who's in any of these.
Okay. I did an interview with Dina Carter. I think that she was in that movie.
See, maybe Dash of Love. Watched 2.5 times.
2.5 times.
2.5.
Mainly.
Did you catch the second half, or did you turn it off halfway through?
Well, I had to. Something else came up. I don't know what was going on. But a Dash of Love. There's a dance scene in there that I cry like a drunk baby.
Is this the one where she's like shrunk down little? You showed me is that the one? Where there's somebody like shrunk down really small and they're dancing? You showed me something on YouTube. Oh, what was that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea.
There was a dancing scene that you showed me on YouTube. You were laughing so hard about it. And it was like I was thinking.
It wouldn't be from the Hallmark. It would be from something else.
I don't know what it was.
Okay, and then one I intend to see because I have not yet, but I love the title, A Shoe Addict's Christmas.
Oh my.
Sounds like
When is that? We'll come over. We'll bring the brats. we got 40 pounds of brats.
Okay, so there you go. If you want to escape all the madness, man, there it is. There's your outlet right there. So
Dan, thank you for that.
Thought I'd share. Yeah.
Now I feel like I might need to get a satellite dish just to watch that.
Country Wedding rocks. Dash of Christmas, my top 3.
All right.
So
that is fabulous.
Yep.
Well, Dan, you have a good weekend, would you?
Well, I'm gonna now.
Yeah. So I know what your plans are. Ladies and gentlemen, be safe out there. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Farris.
If you have a credit card, we'd like to help you make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and see what you get for points or perks. Then go to bettercreditcards.com to see if we can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you get a better credit card. If you don't have a credit card right now, you can check us out too at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, June 5th. The equities markets pulled back on Thursday after the latest jobless claims data was released. The number of new weekly jobless claims for the fourth week came in much hotter than expected at just under 1.9 million. The figure is double the consensus estimates and raises the fear the economic recovery may not be getting off to a strong start despite the strength seen in the ADP data. The S&P 500 hit a low in the session late in the day following news from the CDC. Doctors at the nation's Center for Disease Prevention fear that many Americans are not heeding their advice regarding the virus. CDC Director Redfield made a note of the U.S. rising case count, which helped spur fear of a second wave of outbreak. Investors should be prepared for the indies to pull back with more vigor as early as the coming week. With earnings season at an end, there's little other than news to move the market, and right now the risk is to the downside. You can get the inside track in your inbox at marketbeatminute.com.